As we all know, culture has a significant impact on negotiation. Maybe it is not directly, but it has an influence. All cultures are different, so also all people are different, so we cannot treat everybody in the same way. Now we are gonna talk about aspects that can affect the negotiation process. First of all, we know what negotiation is. We know negotiation is when two or more people try to reach an agreement or solve a problem by talking. While this is simple, different cultures may have different ideas about what negotiation is, what can be negotiated, and also how the process works. This is because the cultures value the communication styles, the decision making, and what they prioritize. For example, in some cultures, negotiation is seen as very formal. In Western cultures like United States or Germany, negotiation is direct and focused on contract with clear terms. On the other hand, we have cultures like Japan or China in which negotiation is more about building trust in relationships. At the same time, we have communication style. Different cultures have varying communication styles like direct and indirect. For example, in cultures like the United States or Germany, communication tends to be more direct, focusing on fast and clear arguments. In contrast, in Japan or China, communication tends to be more indirect. Also, we have to take into account if the culture is focused on group or individualism. For example, in some countries like the United States, the UK, Canada, and Australia, individualism is very important. People value personal success and independence, so negotiations in this type of countries are more competitive. In contrast, in cultures like Asia, Africa, and Latin America, the needs of the group come first. So decisions are often made together, everyone in the group having a say. So negotiation is this culture tend to be more cooperative. Also, personal factors can affect the negotiation process. For example, stereotypes are crucial because relying on stereotypes can cause misunderstanding and also limit collaboration. For example, a negotiator from the US might wrongly assume that an Italian is too passionate and emotional. This assumption could lead to misinterpretation of the Italian negotiator behavior and also potentially causing friction or missed opportunities. Also, empathy is important because it helps negotiators understand each other's needs and find solutions that work for both sides. For example, imagine a negotiator who is trying to secure a deal with a client who has recently has a significant loss in the business. By showing empathy, the negotiator recognizes the client's emotional state and understands that they might not be in the best position to make quick decisions. So, instead of pushing hard to make a fast deal, the negotiator is understand the situation and he offers flexible terms to accommodate their current situation. Also, in negotiations, it's very important to be sociable. Well, being sociable helps to create a better atmosphere, a comfortable atmosphere. When people know you care about them as individuals, they are more likely to work together with you in a positive way. Also, it's showing interest in them as people and not just as business partners. For example, asking about interest or sharing a light conversation after a meeting can make a big difference in fostering a good relationship for future negotiations. We are going to talk about the video how cultural differences affect business. In this case, the speaker had an issue with the Japanese culture because at the end of the conference she asked if anybody had any question. Nobody raised their hand, so she assumed that everything was okay. She sat down, but her Japanese colleague take the lead. He asked if anybody had any question. Again, nobody raised their hand, but he asked again, but this time he looked directly to some people, so he appears the questions. Then he explained to his colleague that in Japan, most of the time people don't have eye contact with the speakers, but in conference, some people have. So that's a good way to ask for questions. With this example, we can recognize that in some cultures, the nonverbal language is very important. Use these elements of any culture could help us to make good relationships so we can have better negotiations. Last, if I've been chosen to lead an international negotiation with a Japanese, I would take care of the importance they have for respect. So I will always show respect, especially toward senior members, and I will be formal. Also, I will pay attention to the nonverbal language because I know they avoid direct confrontation, and I will take time to focus on building trust and long term relationships.